Okay, another thought. I've changed my position, but still the same place as usual. Kind of thinking maybe I should record them like sitting down or something because I'm sitting on the floor rather than But anyway, maybe one day it will all be unimportant. But um, I'm thinking a lot right now about making decisions based on emotions and making decisions based on the logic and on the strategic planning of your life. I mean, I've recently seen, very recently actually, I think it was yesterday or before yesterday, a video on hero's journey, which is a very popular concept about how you hear the call, meaning, yeah, you have a thing that you want that you want to do. Then after you hear the call, you have to like drop whatever you're doing or like leave the job, leave the relationship, move the city, start again. Then there is the desert, which is, the place where the hero is honing his skills, but he's alone and miserable. Then I think there was the test. So basically, the big pinnacle, the big, challenge. And then after that, maybe a couple more things, and then there is the end of the hero's journey and the success, and the hero's changed, and and he has a new life, and he's found meaning also. The thing is, I really liked that concept and I really liked that video, and I think it's not a new concept at all because every single hero movie is based on that from Star Wars to John Wick to like everything, right? Every single hero's book, every single thing. The hero always has, the period where nobody understands him. The hero always has high stakes, and there is always a place where you have to abandon your old self and your old life for the new one. And for me, the decision to abandon something old and something stable has not been easy, and I've spoken about it, I think, like in the very first video and maybe in the later ones. The decision to abandon the structure of the workplace I'm in, and the decision to abandon the life, well, the corporate life that I'm engaged in for years now. At the moment, it's not an easy one for multiple reasons, and I do not like the narrative that a lot of people are selling right now, meaning that you have to drop everything, you have to jump all in, you have to go all in. I mean, you do have to go all in, meaning like if you have an idea, you have to go so hard. It's true. If you have a direction, you have to go so hard. It's true. You have to go in, but I do not like that thing which is like quit your job, drop everything, like be alone and without money and desperate for a long time and struggling and the light at the end of the tunnel and everything. Like, you know, maybe you don't know. I, I somehow dislike that narrative that you've got to drop everything to get something. That the thing that you've built over the years and that assets or something you've built over that time, you got to drop. Like you got to drop and you got to pursue this new thing. But at the same time, this year, more than like that's why depressive episodes are useful. I could be crucified for saying that, but yeah, that's why they're useful. They're useful to realizing where your limits are and what you want and what you don't want and what you can and what you can't. Like they're useful to realizing where's the limit, because I'm the sort of person who sometimes it's like, is this the limit? Let's push it. Is that the limit? Let's push it. It's this the limit? Maybe not. Maybe I can do a bit more. Maybe I can do a bit more. Maybe I can run a bit more. Whatever, you know. And the depression is the place where you're like, I can't do. There's no more. There's no more. This is the end. This is the end. Like this is the limit. This is the actual limit. No, like there is no stretching this. This is the limit. Like if you stretch a bit more, your health will be like, out the window. Then the next day, you'll be like, yeah. And on one side, I, and I think I've already said that as well, I don't buy into the narrative of drop everything, drop everyone, drop your job, quit your job, follow your dream, uh, forget everything you've learned, forget everyone you've met, forget all the relationships you've built, and like, you gotta start afresh, right? And on the other side, I know that doing two things very hard, meaning like going hard at two things, it's impossible. Like, it's impossible in life. I've already learned that, to go very hard on two things. Like, if you want to be a writer and go hard at this, and if you want to do a corporate career and go hard at this, nope, nope. Like, you gotta query, I don't know, like if I want to query 100 people, if I want to send my writing application, let's say for 100 people, let's assume that I don't know if they will like refuse or accept or whatever, like whatever will happen. But if I want to do that, do you know how much work that is? Like, not mentioning to actually write the damn thing and finish the damn thing and edit the damn thing and do the damn thing, like all of this is an incredible, enormous amount of work. And this is just the beginning, of course, but it's comparable to the corporate work times. I don't know, but what I mean is like, I've literally burned myself out, I think, trying to do two at the same time. Like, I mean, I've kind of thought I'm succeeding. Like, to be perfectly honest with you, I thought it was working. I thought I could write and I could work at the same time. But right now, my brain and my body and my health and my like psyche can't handle the two of them. Like, I can't handle going hard at writing and going hard at work. I'm sorry. Like at some point you've got to make a choice. And I think the moment for the choice has come, actually. And now I'm deciding whether it's going to be a break, and in like during this break I will try for like to go as hard as I humanly can for the querying process and for this attempt at showing people my work and seeing whether there is some response or not. Because, if there is no response, then follow your dream is a great plan, but like, you gotta have iterations, you gotta try things, you gotta test things. So basically, I'm thinking whether I have to like quit everything and try it in earnest, or I can test, I can test it, and I can take a break. And I'm fortunate enough that my job, like after a certain number of years, gives me the opportunity to take a break. And I was always planning to take it, by the way, and yeah, that's the time it came at. But I'm thinking like something in me is saying, that voice. I don't know. It sometimes it sounds like it's not even mine. Like, yeah, sometimes you hear voices, or you have voices which are kind of like not even yours. You're like, who's saying that to me? Like, but basically, the voice is like, you're too chicken shit to actually quit your job and focus on your creative stuff. You're too chicken shit. You're like too afraid. You're too like, you have no resolve. You have no like s- nothing. Like, this voice is like challenging me and saying to me like, if you really want to do this, if you're really serious, then please go and just focus on what you want. But there is this other voice that is like, what why won't you just test it for a certain number of months? Why don't you just test it? Why can't you test it? Why should you quit everything, forget everything, and like abandon everything and burn the bridge? Like, I might be wrong here, because people say that to attract what you want, whom you want, everything, you should firmly close the door behind the other chapter of your life. And I think I've talked about it, about like your old self and your old life burning down and the new one appearing. And energetically, I also do find it somewhat true that sometimes you have to burn the bridge, you have to leave everything behind to attract something new. But at this moment in time, I'm like, is that emotional decision to just quit? Is this emotion, or like is this lack of planning? Is this lack of strategy? Because I want to strategize, and I do think uh, in any career, in any pursuit, in any path, in any dream, in any like anything, you gotta strategize. There is a strategic part of it, like how much time is it going to take, how much effort this is going to take. Do you need other people to do that? Do you need some tools, I don't know, like to do that? Do you need resources? uh, how will you organize your time? Like how much time do you give yourself to do this? Like what will you do if it doesn't work? What will you do if it works? Like follow your dream and just close yourself in the room until you gain 1 million is a great concept on the screen. But when you actually quit everything and you don't have any money and you don't have a lot of people around you, and you are kind of in a state where you could attract it, but also hmm, but you also like, can I attract it? Will I attract it? Will it happen? I don't know. I don't know. I'm smiling because yeah, recently I've kind of training myself and to put myself in a state where I feel like I can attract things and I feel like I can attract good things as well. And I think you can see it that I'm easier in that state right now. But this component of like emotional dropping everything is still there, because I do not like emotionally dropping anything. Like if I drop anything or anyone, I think about it and I think about it and I think about it. I might think too long about it. I might spend some time on it, but I do not think the time is wasted. And I do not think you should buy into the narrative of quitting everything and beginning a new life necessarily. I do not think that it's unreasonable to try something new and to really try to go all in on something new in a specific period of time and see if it works or not, and what you have to tweak and what you have to change, and whether you want to try for a longer time, for example. Because let's say I try for like X amount of months. For example, I send out a certain number of queries, applications, it doesn't work, for example. And then, having learned all of that information and having learned on the feedback, hopefully, I will be able to do round two, let's say, right? I'll be able to, having learned everything that I've learned, to make an more informed second attempt. It's, I think, a bit like starting a business. You like start a business, you see if this idea works, if this has legs, if it brings you revenue, and then if it doesn't, you pivot. So why not give yourself the place to pivot and the chance to pivot? So yeah, I'm I'm in the trenches of logical and emotional decision of quitting, my old thing. And yeah, I'm quite far along. I'm further along than I'm letting on this journey. And I'm wondering, whether you just gotta burn that bridge and you just gotta light that match and burn that shit on fire. Or you don't necessarily have to drop everything, and you can test and you can try, and you can be a trier without burning everything to the ground, unless life makes you do it.